Wyoming Refuge, a Havoc in Wyoming Prequel by Millie Copper.
Chapter 1. Sam Mitchell. Sam, what's that noise? She leans close, her breath tickling my ear. I sit up taller in my chair, thinking it might give me a sound advantage. My wife's hearing is substantially better than mine. Georgia says it's part of being a mom. Even with all the commotion in our twins' third-grade classroom, she could probably still hear a mouse running down the hallway on the other side of the school. Nothing. I give a shrug and look back toward the speaker. Career day. Up front is a mom who runs a ferret rescue. The children crush forward to get a better look and a touch. That's right, children. Be nice and gentle with your pets, the mom croon. I'm the last pair to talk. Following Ferret Mom. Any chance of regaining their attention? Nope, doubt it. Georgia was fortunate to go first. Now a half-dozen people have gone, each with a better performance than the previous. The one before this, a baker, brought everyone a cupcake. Maybe I should have brought tongue depressors. That would have gone over well. Sam. Georgia grabs my arm. There it is again. This time I might have heard something, but what I thought I heard, no, that wouldn't make any sense. This is Grover, Wyoming, not Iraq. And then suddenly it seems I may be back in Iraq. Sam, gunfire, Georgia screeches. I hear a scream and a shot. The ferret petting ends abruptly as everyone turns to stare. I'll check it out, I say, wishing a few of the other parents wouldn't have left as soon as their turn was up. That one guy, I can't remember his name, but he's an incredibly burly guy with the Grover Fire Department, and I know he ignored the no-gun sign out front. I saw his sidearm when he stood up to give his talk. No, Mrs. Jenkins yells, charging toward the door. We're to go on immediate lockdown, no one in or out. Ma'am, I understand you have your protocol, but I'm not going to be a sitting duck. Feel free to lock the door after I leave. Dr. Mitchell, if you leave this room, you will not be allowed back in until this is over. I'm good with that. Georgia, suddenly by my side, says, I'll help. I shake my head. Take care of our children. All the children. Call 911. Georgia squeezes my hand and nods. Go! Just go! Mrs. Jenkins demands, phone in hand. Ferret Mom, standing behind the teacher, is already on her phone, frantically crying for help. I quietly slip out the door, steady myself in the alcove, and pull my Glock 23 from my inside-the-waistband holster. Yeah, this is a gun-free zone. But apparently, I'm not the only one who didn't get the memo. I take a quick glance in the window of the classroom. Georgia is unholstering her own Glock, moving toward Mrs. Jenkins' desk. Smart. Use the desk for concealment. The concrete walls and tile floor amplify a scream and discharge. The time between shots indicates someone's using self-control. Have I made the smartest choice? Maybe I should stay with Georgia, stand our ground in Mrs. Jenkins' classroom, and make sure my own kids are safe. The way my heart is pounding, it's hard to believe I was ever in the military. Sure, as a Navy physician, I wasn't in the thick of it, but I'm not completely clueless. Before deploying for Operation Iraqi Freedom, I had plenty of advanced training. My entire squadron trained at a Marine Corps air station. The training included the Pistol Expert Marksmanship program. That's when I discovered a love of firearms. This love has carried through to current times, even sharing it with my wife and children. Georgia, raised in rural Idaho, was no stranger to guns. Chloe and Willie, our 8-year-old twins, are already excellent shots. Target practice is becoming a family affair. We even have our own practice range, set up on a piece of land we purchased outside Grover. The amount of time I've spent handling weapons isn't the issue. The idea that someone out there has their own weapon and sounds like they know how to use it, that's the rub. No doubt, they'll be shooting at me once I'm in view. I crouch, peering around the wall into the hallway. There he is, I take in as much as I can, then pull back quickly. Stay hidden for now. He's considerably shorter than my 6'3" and much lighter than my 200 pounds, but obviously in excellent condition based on the way his biceps bulge in his black, long-sleeved t-shirt. Dressed in black combat boots, tactical pants, a vest, and a watchman's cap, he's even smudged his face in black paint. On first glance, his weapon looks like an AR-15. A handgun is also at his hip. I take note of his stride. Purposeful and determined, but not worried or hurried. The vest, is it a tactical vest for extra magazines or a flak-style vest containing body armor? Best to assume it's body armor. Headshot. I'll need a headshot. Crouching even lower, I risk a second quick look. The guy is closer, only about 15 feet from the alcove. He stopped, turned partially away. A scream, and 2 quick shots. Not fired by this guy. These shots were farther away, the next hallway over. A second shooter. Not good. Lord, help me. Guide me through this. Help me keep my wife and children, the children in this school, safe. With my petition for assistance barely finished, the word silent comes to mind. Silent. Silently take this guy out silently. Hand-to-hand combat was part of my military training, limited and many years ago. While I have both a punching bag and a speed bag in my basement gym, I'm not terribly adept at fighting. I mainly use them to work up a good sweat. I haven't kept up on the training, the martial arts, or putting the hurt on someone. Never thought I'd need it once I left the service. But I'm good on the speed bag, able to strike in a workable rhythm to provide an excellent cardiovascular workout that might come in handy. My pocket knife. It's sharp, very sharp, scalpel sharp. The knife might give me an advantage. My biggest advantage is going to be surprise, and knowing where the knife will do the most damage. Holstering my Glock, I pull out my Gerber pocket knife, bringing it to the ready. It has a 4-inch blade, which suddenly feels way too small compared to an AR. What's the saying? Don't bring a knife to a gunfight? A mistake? Better to just shoot the guy in the head and be done with it. Then, deal with the second guy in the same manner. A shuffle and slight scrape. Too late. The guy is here. What an idiot I am for switching to the knife. A slight shadow. Time to rock and roll.
Chapter 2. Georgia Mitchell. I'm crouched behind the teacher's desk. The desk won't stop bullets, but it'll provide concealment to keep me hidden. If the shooter makes it through the locked door, I'll have the advantage of surprise. Mrs. Jenkins, ferret mom, what was her name? Chrissy? And the children, well away from the door and huddled in the corner, are also at the ready. Mrs. Jenkins moved a couple of the desks in front of the door, a flimsy barricade. Each of the children have been given something to throw if the intruder gets in the room. Books, stapler, whatever the teacher could grab and hand out. She's also instructed them that if the shooter breaches the door, they're to scream and yell, running around while pitching their weapons at him. Yeah, sounds like an amazing plan. At least Ferret Mom has a wicked-looking pair of scissors and seems set to strike. My son Willie, after receiving a book and instructions of use, said, quite seriously, "I'd prefer a gun if you have one." Mrs. Jenkins looked at him like he had 2 heads. I have little doubt a talk with the principal will be required once this crisis has passed. Of course, since both Sam and I are armed in a gun-free zone, we might have more than the principal to deal with. Where is Sam? The slim vertical window in the door gave me a few glimpses of him earlier, but nothing lately. A scream and a shot, then another shot. Not Sam. Not close enough, and not a pistol. Unlike Sam, I was raised around guns of all sorts. While happy to have my 9mm Glock, I'd love a pump shotgun loaded with #1 buck, my preferred weapon, and ammo for home defense. Not to mention the sound of the pump leaves no doubt a person means business. My Glock 19 holds 15 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. I'm intimately acquainted with it, having spent several hundred hours at the range, along with taking several specialty classes with various firearms instructors over the years. When Sam was getting ready for his second deployment, he had firearms training and caught the shooting bug. He's been supportive and encouraging me in my own training. I've even gone on several women's warrior weekends for advanced training. Likewise, Sam's had his own advanced training classes, post-military. 3 years ago, when Sam retired from active duty, one of the reasons we decided to settle in Wyoming was the gun-friendly attitude. We heard jokes about Wyoming having more firearms than people. At least we thought it was a joke until we actually moved here. Wyomingites like their guns. One thing we should have researched further was whether the school district allowed their staff to be armed. A few years ago, the Wyoming legislature enacted a rule allowing each individual district to decide. This district tabled the discussion after not reaching a decision. Now, when every second counts, I wish the teachers and staff were armed, and not just with books and staple guns. Glancing at Mrs. Jenkins cowered in the corner, not even bothering to keep herself together, I change my mind. Mrs. Jenkins shouldn't be armed. Please, Lord, let Sam be okay. Let everyone be okay.
This has been Chapter 1 and 2 of Wyoming Refuge, a Havoc in Wyoming Prequel by Millie Copper, writer of Killer Cozies and Practical Preparedness Manuals. Wyoming Refuge is a Readers Club exclusive story. To listen to the full audiobook, sign up for Millie Copper's Readers Club at milliecopper.com/refuge.